NewsNation senior national security contributor, retired Lieutenant General Richard Newton. It is good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Good evening, Natasha. Always good to be with you.
We have now had these 2 days in a row of deadly Israeli airstrikes. We have heavy civilian casualties, dozens of people dead in Rafah, at least 24 children dead this weekend. What is Israel's strategy here?
Well, certainly, as Robert expertly reported, Israel's attention is now perhaps fading on Iran, although they'll always keep their eye on Iran. But now the focus is back to Hamas and Gaza. And so what you're seeing right now is from the north of Gaza Strip to the south, you're seeing small contingency operations with the Israeli Defense Forces. As you reported, they've also been conducting airstrikes in and around the Rafah area. And unfortunately, there have been some civilian casualties, at least reported civilian casualties. And so that's still more to follow in terms of what Israel's next steps are. But as Robert mentioned, the Jewish Passover celebration begins tomorrow on the 22nd. It'll go for a week through the 30th of April. That does play into terms of what we can expect next. But I think you're going to see continued what I would call these small-scale operations to continue both from the air and the ground from the Israeli Defense Forces.
Yeah, and you know, we have seen the Biden administration increasingly urging Netanyahu and the IDF to exercise more precision in their strikes. Are we seeing any evidence of that given this weekend 24 children dead?
Yeah, it's extremely unfortunate with those children being killed. But I think we are. I think we're seeing Israel in a different phase of this conflict, scaling back in terms of their more larger scale operations. Well, that will, to be determined in terms of when that ground assault begins on Rafah. But I think it also makes military sense for Israel to do that. We saw in the first part of the conflict, you and I spoke, a few months or so ago of the major ground operations when Israel first went in to Gaza. But I think you're going to see, from moving forward, you'll see small contingency operations, as I mentioned, both with air and ground. You'll see special operations also being conducted. The last remnants of Hamas and their terrorist groups, about 10,000 of their terrorist fighters are still holed up in and around the central to southern part of Rafah, or in Gaza, specifically in and around Rafah. But I don't think we're going to see a major operation in the next coming days or so, particularly as we get through Passover, but perhaps in the next couple of weeks. A couple things have to happen, Natasha. First off, you've got to make a way and you've got to create a corridor and get those civilians, those refugees out of harm's way. Up to 1.5 million or so to get them out of the way. Secondly, I believe Israel's going to have to call up their reserve forces in order to conduct or reconduct operations in the central and the southern part of Gaza. And then there's this Passover period. So I think that's what we're going to see here in the next couple of weeks.
Any chances that the heavy civilian casualties this weekend and some of the terrible images that we're seeing of the children dead this weekend will impact the ability to send aid to Israel in the bill that's on the table right now?
I don't think so. In fact, it will, I think, double up the need to send their aid. As you've mentioned yesterday, when Speaker of the House Johnson was able to get the national security foreign aid bills through, the one for Israel was $26 billion. $9 billion of that goes towards humanitarian aid. $4 billion or so goes towards more missile defense or replenished missile defense assets for Israel after that strike or attempted strike by Iran last Saturday night. So, but I think that the key here is to get that aid, and that will be on the shoulders of Israel, but also through some of the non-governmental organizations to get that aid. That aid needs to get into Gaza, especially into the southern part of Gaza. So more to follow on that, but I think you're going to see the expedition of those. They're going to expedite getting that aid into Rafah specifically because it's so needed.
Okay, General Richard Newton, always appreciate the time. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.